Hello and welcome. I am No Coffee, No Life, and today we are once again in the lovely, lovely ash heap. We'll be building on this train track at this lovely water stop. That was clearly a super mutant home. It's now abandoned. I wonder why. There are mobs here all the time, so expect that when you're building here. We are east of the Rollins Labor Camp, we are south of the burning mine, and we are north of the unfinished mansion. This tower that comes with the location is actually really clean. It lets you put a lot of things in. It's pretty customizable, which is a bonus. A lot of times you'll find places that while they look great, they're not easy to work with. This one is easy. Now, let's get started on the build. So the first thing you need to do is place the foundations that are going to go right up against the tower and form the floor space for the tiny train station that you're building. If you're following this video, obviously, you can make whatever you want at this location. I am making a small train station next to this tower. And to do that, I'm going to place 3 foundations in a line perpendicular with the railroad track. Now, I could have probably pulled it back a little more, but I didn't really want to because it's not like any trains are coming down this track, and I don't have to worry about that, obviously. I'm going to put 2 of these porch foundations eventually on either side of the train station. Now, you might be wondering why I'm keeping this station small as opposed to attempting to duplicate the exact floor plan of a train station found in game, and the reason is that my foundation pieces and my wall pieces are not the size that they use when they build structures here in game. Those are usually a foundation and 1/4 to 1/3 in width, you know, for the foundations, and the wall height is usually a little higher or a little lower depending on the structure than a full wall height. So I'm never going to replicate that. Even if I do some weird trick with foundations or walls, it's always going to look a little off, like some weird knockoff toy that's just slightly not right. So by decreasing the size, the overall size of this train station, it appears more believable. Like you can match this up with one of the train stations and you know that it's not the same size, but it's the same overall layout. So it's more believable when you come up on it. You're like, I recognize this. This is a train station. It doesn't look squashed, or it doesn't look higher than it's supposed to be. It looks about right because it's slightly smaller, so it's more recognizable. I guess that's the best way of describing it. I've kept this lower half in proportion to the tower that it's next to, and that helps too. That the pre-existing location that I'm building on, I'm not overpowering it with this train station. It's on the same scale, so you look at it and you go, oh hey, this looks like it fits. It doesn't look off. So the closest and easiest way to mimic the roofs that you see at the railroad stations is to use pieces like this as the top of your roof, because they're the closest to the gables that you see in game. Not that they are anywhere exactly like those gables or those roofs, they're just the closest approximation that we have, because, you know, Bethesda can't give us assets that already exist in the game. Sadly, for whatever reason, we can't have nice things apparently. Anyways, you can see I've placed our little faux gables. We're gonna put the exterior walls on. We're gonna use the contemporary set, but you could use whatever wall set you wanted for the outside. Wood is good too because it's worn down and you see a lot of it in the ash heap to begin with. And you know, what would a build be without a disconnect from server? I don't know. A much easier build, maybe? So we're gonna place these foundations down so that I can put the exterior walls out there. Take a look. See, it's shaping up. I'm sure you're wondering why I've had these concrete foundations sitting over here. And there's a very good reason, because we're going to be working on the second section of this build. And it has to do with that concrete pipe there. Now, once I get the stair lined up properly with its foundation, I'm going to show you why I'm so focused on this. And it's because this is a really big space, and you can do an awful lot with it in this location. And it's the other reason I picked this spot, because, you know, who doesn't want a little underground concrete bunker in the middle of the ash heap, right? So the easiest way to close off this end and make it not so obvious that you have a hidden bunker is by using a foundation piece, a small catwalk section, and the wall of your choice. I use a wood wall, but you could use any wall here. And so you're gonna place the walls as you like. Now, once I get my walls down, I'm going to make it look like somebody's just thrown a couple of extra roof pieces down. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put down 2 of these flat roofs and connect them to 2 different walls that are at slightly different angles, so that they look like they're sitting on top of each other in a haphazard kind of way. Now, I've placed the first roof piece, but I have to burn it and one of the wall pieces in order to actually place the second roof piece. That's also going to be here. Once you've burned the roof and the wall piece that are conflicting, you'll be able to place a second roof piece down. It'll probably be the one that's at an angle, and then you can switch it to a flat piece and then repair the first roof that you made, and it'll be done. You'll have all of it set up and it'll be enclosed, and then you can customize it as you like from this point forward. To close off either end of this pipe, we're going to use the red brick stucco gate on either end. It'll snap in without any trouble, really. I am building a second structure here in the back end. I'm going to speed up the build because it's pretty, you know, easy enough to do. There's nothing shocking or out of the ordinary about it. I'm just covering up the second half of the pipe with a building. The only real issue with building back here is that because you're still dealing with the ditch and the uneven terrain, you're going to have to lift up regular foundations on one side to meet up with the second floor foundations that you place. I'm burning this wall so I can open up my porch and give it posts. I'm using a guard post to cap off the porch. Some, you know, little touches to make it look a little different from buildings you would normally build. And, you know, here's what we have so far with the train station portion, you can see, and the building that I've built. I've put some junk walls up against the building, but we're gonna get back to finishing up this train station, this mini train station. We're gonna shore up the foundation bottoms, fix the walls up the way we want them to be, burn some things so that we can put junk walls, you know, and now we're going to handle the power distribution. We're going to go and get inside of this structure, this pre-existing structure, because this is where I'm going to put my fusion generator. Now I know that I don't need that much power, but I'm going to put it in here anyways, just because I want to show you something here. This foundation that the pre-existing building is using is a foundation and like a quarter or a third, if you look at where I'm showing. And a fusion generator will actually fit in here perfectly. And this is probably the flattest area in the ash heap in this area right now, the bottom of this tower. Anyways, we're gonna put this here, and then we're gonna feed the power out from this room. Now, you can put this wall pass-through here, but it's going to be hard to get it connected. Here is the best spot, right next to the stairs. So you can place it and set it down eventually, and then put down another junction, feed it to the fusion generator, and there you go. Your power is set. And the mobs are not going to be able to attack it in there. So we're going to go back out, and we're going to feed power up to the upper half of the building. I'm doing this so that I can discreetly feed power to the building in the back. I'm also doing this so that I can drop power into the building for items that need a direct connection to the power, like cash registers, some lights, terminals, those sorts of things that require a direct connection to your generator. So we're gonna make this connection between the conduits and move to the roof. Now I've already made some connections here to the other building, and we are going to adjust this roof. I'm going to show you how I put the flat roof down and then put a roof on top of it so that it's closed and it looks like the train station roofs. I turned it to a angled roof, burnt it, slapped a roof on top of it, and that's how I got it to look the way I wanted it to, which was like a train station roof. We're gonna burn these though because we need to access the flat roof underneath them in order to place our power conduits. So, burn away. Get ready to place more power conduits underneath this roof. I am putting the conduit junctions so that I can drop the power down into the building. You'll have to put one obviously facing up so that it can connect with a regular power conduit, and then place a junction that faces downward that snaps so that you dropped it down successfully, and then just connect the wire and you're done eventually once it connects. There we go, maybe, sort of. Yes. There we go. It's done. Now all we have to do is connect these lines to the lines leading to the generator, which is simple enough. It's just one little wire over there, and everything has power now. Well, except for this back end, we have to connect it really quick. A few adjustments with some conduit, not too much. Just some final connection. And here it is, the completed build. We have the miniature train station, the pipe bunker, and the exterior building. Let's take a look inside at all of the buildings and all the structures so that you can see how they are now that they're complete. I cluttered the approach because that ditch was very obvious and I didn't want people to see the pipe as they came in. So as we come into the train station, where the robot would normally be on the left, I have two vendors. They are tucked behind this counter. It doesn't protrude, it's in line with the doorway, so it looks very orderly, and they're ready for you to buy stuff from them. The rest of the train station is just seating areas, the stash, and a scrap box. Our fortune wizard has made a return visit, and I have a crafting area at the back like most train stations. There is no bathroom in this one, so, sacrifices were made. And so we've made it like a little cluttered, junky area with a workstation, which is fine. So let's move on to the back side of this train station, where we have some more things to clutter up the exterior and the outer area. There's a trash can, some more workbenches, the weapon and armor workbenches. Just enough. An ice box. We'll take a look at this upper area that I have decorated. Now I'm going to say something. The rugs that you're going to place down here, you might have to jump to get some of them in. The large one I literally had to jump up to drop in once I put a mat down for it to actually connect with. But once you have rugs down on the floor, you can put things down. Everything on the counters you can put down without any additional items. You don't have to use conduit or rugs. You can just slap them down, they'll be fine. But let's look at the building. This is the next area we'll take a peek at. It's hiding this back half of the pipe, like I mentioned earlier in the video. So we're going to take a look at the living space that's up there now that it's complete and it's fully decorated. I'm using this rolling door again for this building. And its living room area is really simple, just a fire, some tables, A little cuckoo clock on the wall. Nothing too elaborate. And a little seating area with some cluttered shelves behind. I've raised them up. And the little sleeping area with stuff under the bed and on boxes and some paintings that this person hasn't figured out where they're gonna go. And the porch that I built. All decorated. It's a seating area that's looking out at that unfinished mansion, and off to the right we have the lovely Mount Blair again with the Rockhound on top of it. So we're going to go inside and look at our last space, the concrete pipe bunker that's underneath this structure. Now remember, we closed off the ends and we concealed both ends. So we're going in through the entrance that's right underneath this building to see our lovely concrete pipe bunker. And it's pretty simple. I've kept it simple. You can probably jam a ton of stuff in here. It's pretty easy to do so. I just put a strip of rugs down and plunked some stuff on the side and added the lights. You could probably add even more. It's really forgiving. It's easy to do. I've put a little mine shelter here at the end, and I left this side broken so that I'd have a opening on the right for mine. But that's it. This is the entire build. This is the camp I've built here. It's pretty expansive. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I enjoyed making this build, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you learned something. I hope you liked the place enough that you're considering building here. If you like what you see here, then click subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're aware when new videos release. I would like to say thank you to everybody who's subscribed recently. I think we're almost to 100 subscribers, which just is kind of amazing. At least I think it is. And I know some people might think that's a little ridiculous and say, oh, it's only 100, but I guess people like them, so thank you. But until next time, happy building in the wasteland. Oh my God, it is the legendary white rad stag. Let's go see where it will take us. How far away will this adventure lead us? I don't know. But it is the magical white rad stag. So let's go find out. Hey, oh look, it's dodging the hostile mobs. It's going around this corner. I can hear it. It's clomping around. Oh, there it is. There it is. Where else will you lead us? Oh, this is where. Okay. This is the stump. Okay. Well, that's 22 more caps. Thank you, Rad Stag. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Sliding down the hill.